If you stick your key in the ignition, if you try to turn it, it doesn't turn. You try to turn it again, still doesn't turn.
No, God!
And all hope is lost.
No, God, please, no! 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 No!
So I'm here today to show you how to get your ignition switch out of your Honda Civic through 2005 to 2004. It's going to be a little bit tricky since the bolts are actually not supposed to come out. So I'm going to show you how to get to them and where they are, as well as how to take the rest of it apart. We should be able to figure it out. It should go pretty smooth.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I actually had one of my buddies work on this while I wasn't ready, and he's now gone, so this is going to be interesting seeing as you'll see all these clips. I kind of started putting them back, but I got this one and this one that I have no clue where they go. I can't find even a port for them to go into, so I'm going to be trying to figure that out, as well as showing you how to get the rest of the stuff out. So yeah, the thing with these tumblers, the ignition switches, is you can put the key in, but eventually they'll start to fail. You'll feel like a harshness almost, like it won't want to flick over, and then eventually it'll just get to this point where it doesn't go at all. That's going to be somewhere in this guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole piece out, since that's all we can really do. We're going to take it to a locksmith, and then he's going to repair the lock, so then we can basically put it back in, and then hopefully the car will be fine. We should be able to counteract the locking mechanism once we get it undone, like taken off, but just in case, probably try to not turn the wheel. We were trying to back it out so we could get it on a trailer. So now the part that's going to make this really hard, I'm going to try to show it here. It's going to be this bolt here, and bring it to this side. This bolt right here, I'm tapping. In order to get the mechanism off, you need to pull those two bolts. They're rounded tops. They are supposedly supposed to be made out kind of like a screw.
Nope.
We should theoretically just be able to twist them out with going counterclockwise, but we're gonna have to see.
You're a fucking idiot.
What my buddy Brandon did is he took Sawzall blades, these guys, you can see the number and everything there if you want to get one. He took this, and I'm actually surprised how far he made it. You can see he ground it down pretty good. Like, I'm pretty impressed. It should actually work for us. Although you could use Sawzall blades, I actually went out and got files. I think that's going to make it a little bit easier. So it's going to be more of a proper tool, especially for this guy. Because you can see how tight that is. We're going to have to go right through the wires, and it's definitely going to be annoying. Literally feels like I've been doing this forever. I wish I knew some kind of like jail song so I could sing them to you, but unfortunately I don't.
That's got to be the best part I've ever seen. So it would seem.
But yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what's gonna happen once we get this thing off, or if we can. Both of them are kind of ground out enough that I should be able to, hopefully, at least, remove them. Now what I'm doing right here is spraying the bolts with penetrating fluid. Reason being because I want the best chance to get these things loose, and they've been sitting in there ever since the car was produced, and I've already tried to turn them out a bit. Seem extremely stubborn, so we're gonna try it. So this just got a lot worse. So these guys back here have been filing down. Now try to remove them, as you probably saw in the last clip. They do not seem to be screws. If they are in there very good. Cannot remove them. As far as that goes, if we want to replace those, we could potentially try. I could get them off, but my intent was to reuse them as I thought they were screws. With that being said, if I remove those, they're likely to be garbage. We will more than likely have to buy a new ignition system to replace this one, just because that one, from my knowledge at least, should come with rivets, and then you can actually reuse it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bypass and we're gonna go straight to this guy. Now there's gonna be some screws going around. I'm gonna pop this guy off and we're gonna see if we can play locksmith and repair it straight out of the vehicle rather than taking the whole system off and taking it to a locksmith. We're gonna be the locksmith, so yeah. So to go a little bit more in detail, if you look at this top hole here, I need to drill right on this wall, and I'm basically going to make a hole right there with a drill bit slightly bigger than the object that is smallest that I can find. And basically what's going to happen is we're going to stick this guy in the side and kind of scoot it out until this pops out, and then this can come out freely. So like I said, hopefully this goes well. Okay, so I drilled a little bit further than I wanted to, but that actually worked to my advantage, because the thing is, you're gonna have to stick this in and try to pry it out. For mine, as you can see at the bottom here, actually I can stick this in and scoop it out like this. And there we go. Now we got this guy out, and we can go from there. My girlfriend thought it was a great idea to get a gingerbread Scentsy, so this car smells and reeks of cinnamon, especially earlier when I got in here. I never said that, but man, hardcore cinnamon. Horrible. Don't do it. Don't ever do it.
It smells awful.
So we got this guy out now. This is the piece that came out. Now we need to get this guy loose so we can actually pull the cylinder out. So I need to get this pin out of this part of the ignition. I should be able to push it down right underneath this long lever arm, but we're gonna see if I can do that. So what I removed was the long arm, as well as a pin that goes through it, a spring, and a retainer clip. Now that this is kind of like emptied out, I can see if I go from basically the top part here, if I drill a hole kind of like I did in the ignition to start there to get this piece out, if I go straight through there, I should be theoretically, I think, able to punch this guy down and out. So this is going to be kind of sketchy, but the main thing is you have to find the pin right about here. You have to go all the way to the top and go straight down. It doesn't necessarily have to be very precise, but if you kind of eyeball it, the guardrail from left to right here should keep you relatively straight. You just mainly have to make sure that you're right in line with it like such, and you should be able to go off of that. Now it'd be best to have it in vise, but I don't have one of those yet, so we're just gonna go like this. So I just finished drilling through. As you can see, it's like right on where I want it, dead center. So I don't have any punches, but I do have some screwdrivers. So I'm gonna try that really quick, see if that works. Otherwise I might have to run to Canadian Tire. So I can put this through, and it does look like I can potentially use it, but it's very tight.
That's what she said.
So what I'm gonna do is use a trusted framing hammer, and hopefully this works, and got it. There you go. Still not opening, but from what I read, just need the key. Theoretically. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it's a little bit greasy, a little bit dirty, so be ready for that. I don't have any paper towel myself, unfortunately. When you take this key out, you'll see all of these stick out. Now these are what are holding the tumbler from turning, allowing the vehicle to turn on. When I stick this in, you'll see the first few went in. I'll stick the last one in, and now all of them are in. So that's how you want it. If one of these are sticking out, these teeth, you're going to either have to remove it or wiggle it around and see if you can fix it. With my case, I think I'm lucky enough that I can just fix it because I'm not seeing any actually sticking out. If you do want to take teeth out, you just have to grab it and kind of wiggle it around and it'll come out fairly easily. If it doesn't, maybe use pliers. When you're putting this in, this big block here needs to line up with this. So play around with it before you put it back together. Make sure that it's actually going to turn. I'm going to get this pin in. I'm going to probably put one of the mechanisms back together and see if it turns. If it doesn't, take it apart. But yeah, my camera's going to die soon, so I'm going to turn it off now. I'm going to basically, once I'm done putting everything back together, I'm going to turn it back on and show you guys if it worked or not. There you go. So as you can see, the ignition is working now. All it was just this little guy here. This was the one that kept falling out on me actually, so go figure that was the one that was broken. You want to remember to remove this guy as well as this spring. You want to take both of those guys out. As far as it goes, if you did happen to lock your steering wheel, pull it and move it around. Like you can hear it just locked, right? So I have to put you down. But I'm going to put the key all the way in. I'm going to push in slightly. I'm going to move the steering wheel around while pushing forward. And it'll actually slip forward, and now I have access to move it around. So that's how that works, if you locked your steering wheel. So this did fix it. Definitely check it before you put it back together. You can do that. You just basically put it back together partially, and then you can see if it'll turn. If any of those keys, such as these guys, are sticking out slightly when the key is in, then that's going to be the one that's bad. So you're going to want to pull that one out as well as the spring. So other than that, hopefully it's good. Hope it went good for all of you guys, and if you guys made it this far, thank you for watching. I'm going to put it back to the way that it was, so I can surprise my girlfriend when she comes home from horseback riding. And then, yeah, it's been a long time since she's had her car. It's been about probably 5 months because it happened in the middle of winter. So yeah, I'm gonna put the car back to normal. I'll get the battery and everything put back in. Hopefully the battery's not dead. And then I'm gonna reset the car so that way it's kind of like a surprise for my girlfriend, but I know it's working. Don't know if I'll put in a snippet of that, but if I do, it'll be at the end of this video. So anyways, I hope everything works out for you guys. Thank you for watching, and have fun.